Well, we finally put the sheetrock up. As you can see, we put the sheetrock up. We need a little bit there. But one of the things that you have to realize when putting sheetrock is that in order to hit 4 foot from here to there, we have to cut a piece here, which is like 12 inches wide. And then we'll start with the whole one here. That way it'll hit 4 foot there. So if you start here, you might end up here. And then you would have to put a 2x4 there. But if you start here and put a piece like we did over here, well, on the other side, then you'll be hitting the 2x4s correctly. Another thing that when we put the sheetrock up here, we stapled it. Thus you can barely see the staples here. Now we used a little 18 gauge stapler. I don't know how it's going to work, but it looks like it's pretty firm. You might want to put some liquid nails behind the studs, and then put the in front of the studs, and then put the sheetrock on top of it, and then nail it with that 18 gauge nailer, which is a stapler, both stapler and nailer. And the reason we used it is because we're going to put columns here. That'll help with holding it back, and then we're going to put trim here around the windows, which is going to help keep the sheetrock sturdier. And then we're going to put trim up there with bigger nails, and that'll all help with containing the sheetrock. But I think without even that, I think these little staples, 1.5 inch staples, 18 gauge with that little staple gun, I think it's going to do a really good job, because I mean, I think it will. I mean, well, let's hope it will. I would recommend using the 16 gauge, which is what we used up here on this side. 16 gauge staplers, here they are, and that's a lot better than using the 18 gauge. But what I'm going to do later, maybe if I have when I have time, I'm going to go back and just put a couple of staples here. That way it makes sure that that they're firm. Now, I really think it's going to work with these. And notice that it's a little indentured there, and with a little bit of compound, you can barely see those things. So it helps with the putting up the compound. And now these sheetrocks, we had to cut them at 92 3/8 long. So we cut those, and then we cut the little corners there at 30 degrees there. And we put those a little lower than we did, higher than we did these, lower, and I think this is going to turn out better than this side here, because we've kind of cut them too short. These are 92s, and these are 92 3/8 or something like that. But it's coming around. You need obviously a good utility knife and a straight edge to cut these sheetrocks up. My wife uses the jigsaw to cut around the windows, so it's more precise than just cutting it with a knife, I guess. So anyway, that's what we did. We put that door up as well. It's a 32-inch door. We had to put some spacing on it to make sure that it works and fits and snug. And everything's coming around. There's a speaker wire there. There's the connection for the projector that I mentioned in another video. And so we're going to have a theater room in here. We're going to put columns here, and one over there, and one over there, and you know, my wife is going to have her exercise machines here, and I'm going to have a sofa here so as to look at the projectors the screen, and I guess it'll turn out good. And we'll keep on with these little presentations here. One of the things you have to, we did the wiring here, and we got some of these things that we used for the to let us know where the holes are. Here they are over here, and those are the ones that we use. And you put it on the plugs, and then you kind of put the sheetrock up against these, and then those little protruding protruding screws or whatever they have down there. And then you can see, then you put it behind the sheetrock on top of these, and then it'll mark where the you have to cut out those boxes. I'm not an electrician, and we kind of do our own work here. We've learned. Well, one of the things that if you're going to do your own electrical outlets, you can use one of these and put it in front and put the sheetrock on top of it, where it goes, and then press it against these, and it'll give you the markings where you have to do the cutoff. And we use one of these items here, and you just make the hole around where the box goes, and that makes it a lot easier. And if you're going to do your own electrical work, one of the things that's easy about that is that when you get your outlets, make sure that you don't push them in and crack the sheetrock. Make sure that you make them a little bit wider so as for you not to, break the sheetrock while you're trying to get it inside that plug there, because then you'll break the sheetrock, and that's not any good. Anyway, next time we'll talk more about after we get through with this we'll talk more about it. Thank you for showing up. Thank you very much.